Like the people you work with, some snakes are annoying, while others are deadly. Once you learn to navigate all 5 snakes, you'll be much more productive and will get promoted if that is your wish. I start with the most benign snake, then work my way up to what I consider to be the most deadly. Let's get into it. Snake number 1, the aggressive confronter. I grew to appreciate this kind of behavior. I struggled until I learned that they respect people who match their style. Yes, at first, I was back on my heels, wondering why it felt like we were back in middle school when I saw their aggressive behavior. Fortunately, I grew and decided to match their behavior with assertiveness. Notice that I wasn't aggressive but assertive. The difference is that I offered a strong response, but I wasn't trying to dominate anyone. I held my ground. I spoke what I saw as the truth. I held up a mirror and spoke candidly about what I saw and experienced from them because I was in my power. Calm, clear, concise, and confident always wins. Once I grew to operate from the next level of assertiveness with Snake 1, the aggressor, they respected me, and we got along well. If you work with an aggressive coworker, find your power and speak assertively. Snake number 2 leverages the leader. Also known as I'll tell Dad. Many of us grew up in homes where siblings knew how to leverage a parent to get what they wanted. When I saw this in the workplace, I was stunned. I was the new guy, and when I locked horns with a multi-year employee, I got called into the principal's office. At first, I was shocked that the boss was intervening rather than resolving the situation between me and the employee. However, I was calm, confident, and clear about where our disagreements were, what I was doing to solve them, and confident that the employee and I could resolve them. And it worked. The boss saw that they had been leveraged as a power play, and this wasted his time. Soon the conflict was resolved, but I learned that when I stay calm, clear, and confident, I could turn a weird, childish situation into a win. So will you. Snake number 3 leverages flying monkeys. Narcissists, manipulators, and other toxic people at work start to look for allies, people they can leverage against you once they realize that they can't control you. When I was a manager, I didn't hire a candidate I viewed as unqualified. This angered a narcissist, a cousin of the person I didn't hire, who started a smear campaign against me. I was shocked when 3 people approached my office one day, accusing me of racial and gender biases. I tried to defend myself with facts and understand more about their accusations, but they were out for blood. I called my leader and asked him to referee this weird situation. Fortunately, he was wise and called in me and just one of the accusers. Accusation by accusation, I dispelled her vague attacks until she finally revealed my clear biases in hiring practices. I was prepared to share our candidate assessment process, how we scored candidates, and why some didn't make the cut. I was very fortunate in that my boss defended me and eventually fired the accuser. My boss defended me for 3 reasons. First, through honest and clear communication, I built trust with him over time. Second, he was a smart leader who was good at sorting through fluff from fact. This wasn't his first rodeo. Third, he understood that when people seek allies or flying monkeys, they are insecure and are likely operating from toxic emotions. Your key actions are to build trust by doing what you say you are going to do and being transparent with influencers in your workplace. That trust will bring you support when you need it most because allies are required to navigate flying monkeys. Snake number 3 can be wild to navigate, but it isn't as difficult as snake number 4. Snake number 4, they commit but don't deliver. We all depend on other people at work to do what they say they're gonna do. Especially if you are a project manager, you get work done through other people. When they make a commitment yet don't deliver, you've been bitten by one of the sneakiest snakes at work. They may make excuses or even blame you for not delivering. With one of these snakes, she made a clear commitment to me, then lied about the status of her work. When she didn't deliver, she blamed me for not being clear. I was astonished and disappointed, and when I tried to find out when she would deliver, I got only silence followed by what felt like gaslighting. I talked with her manager and got the same response. She's busy, and you'll be lucky if you get anything from her. Now my project was behind, and I had to hire someone from outside the company to jump in and finish the work. Reflecting on snake number 4, I ended up having deeper conversations with senior leaders about accountability in general and specifically this situation. The company ended up changing who gave performance feedback on internal employees, empowering project managers like me to have another leverage point to motivate communication and performance. I follow up more as a result of this experience with all those who make commitments. I get in writing what they will deliver and when. I also get in writing their % complete and more specific status updates. This is the only way I know to deal with snake number 4 and other forms of irresponsibility. Speaking of snakes, let's talk about what I consider the most dangerous one of the group. Snake number 5, passive-aggressive. The venom is there, but they hide it. Rather than having open, honest conversations about their disagreements, they retreat to silence, hints, sabotage, or complaining to the wrong people. Or as I found with one person, even when you talk it out, they continue to stab you in the back even when you think you are back on the same page. What can you do with the passive-aggressive snakes? I found that when I pressed people on their level of commitment publicly and then later privately, some opened up so we could at least discuss their views. I found that when I asked them for specific actions of support such as, "Will you voice support for our project in the upcoming staff meeting?" they were more likely to stop the passive resistance and more likely to play a supportive role. I also started to watch for body language that suggested they weren't on board. Then I would try to talk to them at some point to see if they were still on board or if we needed to talk. That helped. I used team meetings to ask team members not to complain outside the meeting but to bring their issues here, and let's talk. Like an infection, passive-aggressive snakes had to be constantly revealed and dealt with. Otherwise, they tend to sabotage projects or slow-walk them, which is the same thing. Companies that shape their culture so they communicate more, passively resist less, reap the rewards of making this kind of snake existent at work. Otherwise, it's up to you to smoke out the passive-aggressive snakes, get them to voice their concerns, and seek specific commitments. In summary, these 5 snakes represent ways that people use toxic influence at work. Their toxic behaviors are a signal for you to grow, to find your power again to deal with toxic people in a calm, clear, and confident way. When you stay powerful, identify the signs, and keep lines of communication open, you'll navigate these snakes and win the day. Thanks for joining us at the Change Capability Institute today.